So the 40 grip, flap and disc, on this good old grinder. This is his first run at sanding. It's doing a good job. And this wood, just peachy as. And a little thing I'm learning as I'm doing this, see, most instances we're used to doing this with a grinder, right, or even a sander. And there's people out there that'll be going, oh no, that's not how you do it. And you're right, it's not how you do it. What I'm finding here is just being gentle, just letting the weight of the grinder and the grit of the disc predominantly do the work. And then all I'm doing is actually working up and down. I was doing little bits like this, and then I found actually that a little weight going forward, release the weight coming back, weight forward, drag it back, weight forward, drag it back. And what you may or may not be able to see that there, it's minimizing these grooves. Right, that's very common when you're using a grinder. So that grooving is caused when you start going to the side, because then basically it's cutting. So that's interesting, right? But this actually was fiberglass. Not fiberglass, resin. And the reason why I think it gives off the impression that it's varnished in this way is that when they've done it, they've actually used too much hardener. And because I only know that through research, that if you take on the approach that, oh, if I put in more hardener it will advance the curing, which it does, but what it also does, see, the consequence of that is it alters the chemical bond in the resin and actually makes it more brittle. So it becomes harder but brittle. So you get a quicker curing time, the epoxy will be harder, but it also becomes brittle. And then what actually happens is that its lifespan is actually shortened. So there's a little tip for you folks, and that's another reason why I just want to stay away from fiberglass and resin as much as I can, and predominantly use polyurethane adhesives or glue or whatever the terminology is. Oil, linseed oil, tung oil obviously is the better one. We're working on a budget here. And then oil-based paints. And then my thinking with come the time when we're ready to start exploring, you can almost guarantee yourself that someone's got a bit of old oil-based paint in their shed. Someone's got a bit of wood oil, or wood stain is actually another product we'll be incorporating. Sandpaper tools, there's always a whole bunch of pellet wood here and there, hardwood, there's old fences somewhere out there in the country. So my approach with old ceiling pelican is what are easily and readily available materials and resources that I potentially get for nothing. A little time and energy may be the exchange, because fiberglass is, as much as it's praised and its qualities, it's very, very expensive, and once it fails, it fails. Whereas wood, like, look at this old boat. Look at this old. Right. It's starting to buckle there. It's, but look at this wood. And someone going, yeah, it wouldn't be like that if you didn't put resin on it. You know what? You're probably right. Okay. But paint does that too. There's good layers of paint on this. Right. And look how long that's been there. Right. If that's been there since the 50s, then what's your argument now? Weather gods are being good to us, but we're getting there, you see. This hasn't cured as much as I want, but it does. I'm glad I found this. It does sort of cure into a bit of a putty, which is really good. So we can sand that back, and all I'm aiming here is just to knock the risers down as much as possible. Right. Okay. Get as much of this gunk out. I might need to come around with a wire brush attachment, but we're doing good. We're doing a good job. We're doing well enough. A bit of moisture in there, you see. So we'll get that out of the way. You know, I may flip the script after sanding, and then we'll vac this, and then we'll whack down a coat of that Johnson paint that I mixed with linseed oil, then let that cure, and then come in after that and put this window gasket silicone in. And keep the reins loose right now. The reason I'm going to do that is because I feel that the paint will cure quicker than this gasket silicone. So be it that the rain gods, the weather gods say, all right, he's finished, right? That paint will at least give me the greatest coverage that I can get for its quantity, and at least give me some type of level up in weather protection. Does that make sense? Right. So I feel it will. The combination of the oil and the paint, it's doing a really good job. Yeah. So all this was all bare wood. So sort of I'm getting a combination of the paint soaking with a little bit of the oil, and then as the oil dries, like all this here last night, this was beading. The water was beading on this, so I was like, oh, that's fantastic. So it's working. It's working. The oil sort of getting trapped in the paint. The tackiness of the oil is helping the paint sit, and yeah, well, we can imagine. See, all of that, all this wood here. Right. And you can see where they've been done with a grinder, but that's not the focus. We want to get all the way down here done today. Won't take much with this 40 grit, and then I don't know about this chappy. Might just sort of roll with the punches, but no, I think because we do have a support here, we have to put that on the must-do today as well. Grind him out and get some of that silicone down in there. You see, so that's the update, folks. Thanks for tuning in.